guys, so today we're in a completely different location. This is my living room because my bedroom was a mess, so I made all my family go into our playroom so I can film in here. Today's video is going to be a bit of a strange one. This girl I made all these stories with, Beth, or Bethan, she is going to be in a couple of videos soon where we film together. But whilst we were going to Cardiff swimming with my mum, we were writing stories on my iPad in my car. Now my brother took his friend, so this first story is about him and his friend. And the night before we had a sleepover and we're totally obsessed with GTA 4. So we did a day in the life of Nico, GTA 4. So I'll start with the rat boy story, and I will warn you, if you look like a rat's ass or you have rat tails for hair, this will offend you. Point out how very nicely laid out all of these stories were. They had chapters, you know, titles, very nicely laid out. Okay, the rat boys. Chapter 1. Once upon a time there was a boy who liked burping in the boot of cars. That's my brother, because he was sat in the two seats in the boot and with his friends and they were burping. I was like, ugh. Him and his friend were very horrible boys and looked like a rat's ass. They were rude and they are both really bad swimmers. They were not tall enough for the slide, so they had to stay in the baby pool. But because they are awful swimmers, they struggled to swim even on the baby pool. Even in the baby pool, that should be. Why did I call it that? Even in the baby pool. They had to get rescued by a hot lifeguard. One of the boys drowned in the baby pool, and because they were that ugly, the lifeguard didn't want to touch them. They spotted them and everyone had to be evacuated from the pool because they thought it was a floating piece of shit. Chapter 2. When the people were called to remove them, one of the people recognised one of the pieces of shit. It wasn't actually shit, it was her lovely little brother who she loved lots. She was ashamed of how ugly him and his friend were, so she poked them with a stick in their eyes. She used a fishing net to fish them out of the pool. She then dumped them in the recycling bin, but all of a sudden they moved. The boys were alive. 3. She didn't know what to do. She'd never come across anyone who looked like a rat's ass. They then jumped out of the bin, had long rat tails for hair and a rat's ass for a face. They scattered past her and knocked the baby over. They then scratched her with their dirty claws. His friend was leaning over a rubbish bin and had got stuck, so she pushed him in and shut the lid, catching his fingers in it. Ah! She then picked up the other rat boy and put him in the bin too and locked it. And that was the end of the rat boys for now. ... The end, and then in brackets, or is it ... So that was our one story made, which is quite cool. This next story is a day in the life of GTA 4 Nico, which we spelled wrong, but we figured out we spelled it wrong earlier. Chapter 1. I just got a call from Michelle asking to go on a date. I agreed, so I went to pick her up. However, I didn't have a nice car. Saw this sports car going past, proper nice, so I stole it. Michelle was impressed. We were going to go to the club, but we had a few crashes on the journey. Just as we were outside the club, the car bonnet fell off, in brackets. I knew that car was a piece of shit. Anyway, we jumped out and it blew up. The police then saw me stealing another car. I was too star wanted, so I left Michelle and ran away, but that bitch followed. I think it's because she was hungry for me. So I turned around and I said to the bitch, "Do you want some?" She turned around and said, "Why would I want a piece of shit like you? I want your money." She then got shot by a police helicopter, but she lived, I think. Chapter 2. By the way guys, just in case you couldn't figure out, we made all that speaking part up. That was what we were thinking about. Chapter 2. I then wanted a burger, so I told the police to fuck off and take me to McDonald's, or that burger van on the side of the road. The burger man said the burger was $5, I ain't paying that, so I shot the bastard. I ate all his burgers too. Just as I turned around I saw a proper nice Range Rover, so I ran up to it. Opened the door and there was a giant man sat there, punched me and drove off. He ran over my new bitch too. So I went to shoot his tyres, but the police took all my guns. Then my buddy Roman called. Chapter 3. Roman is my cousin. He needed my help. I didn't want to help him, he's a moody dick, but he's found me in it. So I stole a motorbike. It was well nice, quick and all. Found a helmet too, thought I should wear it. I could throw it at some dick later. Then I saw that Dick and his mate beating Roman up. Told them to fuck off and all. Run over them and shot him. Roman is such a crybaby. One of the fat twats beating him up escaped and drove off. Me and Roman jumped into his crap taxi and chased him. We were speeding, I could hear the police behind us. This time the whole fucking roof blew off. I was shouting at Roman about buying shit. And then we saw a roadblock blocked by the police, so I knocked them out and kicked their heads in. I got a Coke can, threw it and knocked at the guards, split his head open and all, blood everywhere. Then that fat twat got away. Chapter 4. I spotted a decent taxi. Me and Roman stopped the taxi, checked the driver out and jumped in. It was well nice on the inside. We got moving super quickly. Just as we drove around the roundabout, I saw something in the wing mirror. It was that fucking taxi driver. He clinged onto the door handle, so I got a crowbar with a knife on the end and slit his fingers off. He screamed and fell in front of a lorry, but his fingers were still attached to the handle. I wasn't lucky where I was going and crashed into a chippy. I don't know where Roman was, but he wasn't in the passenger seat. I got out the car and it exploded. I ran down an alley. I could hear the police helicopters. Roman then came running behind, shouting something about the police. I then saw him putting something in his mouth. "Are you taking drugs?" I asked. I didn't want him to have them all. "No," he replied. "I got some chips." I tutted. He got me excited. I thought he had drugs. And that was the end of my day. ... That was a super quick little video for you guys. Me and my friend, we were just bored, and yeah. The links to my Twitter and my Instagram are in the description. 2 videos today. Hope you guys like it. Sorry about the Sims being so long away, like from the other episodes, but it's one up today, right after this. So go watch that first, then watch this, or other way around. I don't know. Just go. Bye.